Chrissy. I am not at all certified in any way, shape, or form to be a financial advisor. However, I've lived some life, and I want to share some of my insights with you. I think that I'm mostly going to do this while I'm driving in the car, and it's mostly going to be unedited, because I think for the way and what I want to share, that's going to be the best way to do it. I went through Dave Ramsey's class probably 15 years ago now. My wife and I were living a fairly normal life. You know, we had a couple of cars. One of them was paid off, was a little more junky. The other one had a small car payment at the time. I think it was only a couple $100s. We owned a house here in Greeley, Colorado, where we had a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage. We bought it, it was in foreclosure, so we were able to get a great price on it. We would go on trips that we would put on a credit card and then pay off slowly later. But mostly, you know, we didn't pay too much attention to it. It was the thing that we argued about the most, finances. Because Dave Ramsey, as you may or may not know, talks a lot about the fact that in a relationship, there's two types of people, a spender and a saver. My wife is the saver. I am very much the spender. I want the things. I want the fun gadgets. I want the new and exciting thing, whatever it is. So I was going to buy it. And she would get stressed about money, and I would say, it's fine, we have money in the bank. But that money in the bank was typically gone before the end of well, maybe not before, but sort of by the end of the paycheck time. We're like waiting for the next paycheck, just like everybody else. And we kind of got to the point that we were sick and tired of fighting about money all the time. And somehow I heard about Dave Ramsey, and I thought, you know, I'm the problem, not my wife. I should probably do something about that. Typically, the Financial Peace University is what it's called, is held in person at, you know, churches or community spaces in some way. And it was also at that time starting to be offered online. Now, I will say, now that I've done it online versus in person is a far more helpful type of experience, because you're talking with other people, you're engaging with them about the things that they are dealing with as well as what you're dealing with. You can brainstorm about, hi, how can I deal with this thing? How can I work through this? Whereas online, you're working through everything, all the classes by yourself. There's no engagement with other people. But for me, at that time, I didn't feel like I needed other people. Because it felt so much about this was a me problem. It wasn't a problem with my wife. And I'll tell you what, it was game changing for me to go through that, because it made me pay more attention to the things that we were doing. He talks about having a budget meeting every month, which we did, and to this day still do every month. It didn't put the onus on one person to be paying attention to finances. It put the onus on both people to be paying attention to the finances. And so by doing that, it made me open my eyes to where the heck are we financially speaking? Are we in an okay place? Is it okay that I bought that thingamajig on Amazon? And it forced my eyes to be open, for me to be able to make an informed decision about buying something, and not just closing my eyes and saying, it's fine, we'll figure it out, we'll just pay for it later. Going through that really forced our hand at figuring some things out. And we decided that we were going to sell our house so that we could pay off that debt. I guess we had a few $1,000s in credit card debt. We had the house and we had the car. But we also knew that my wife wanted to go to nursing school. And if we did that in that current state, we would be accumulating more debt, not getting out of it. So we said, well, we're going to put our house on the market. And when we do that, If it sells quickly, then we'll know, yep, this was the right thing to do. And if it doesn't sell quickly, then we will rethink our strategies. So we did, and it sold, I think it was a couple days. It was less than a week at the time that we sold it. And we sold all the things. We held a yard sale. We got rid of the things because we were moving into an apartment. We went from a 3,000 square foot house down to a 2-bedroom apartment. And that was an incredible move for us. We were able to pay off all of our debt and sort of restart where we were at in life. What are we doing? How are we facing finances? And what are we going to do going forward? So I'm going to save the rest of that story for another time, but that's sort of the intro on how I got to where I am right now in terms of feeling financially okay and feeling like we are in control of our life, and in our life also our finances. So it's just like a perfect example of how one decision can change the rest of, like, the trajectory of your life. And I have no idea where we would be now had we not taken the leap and sold all the things. I imagine we'd be like most other people in America, with some credit card debt and some auto debt and living paycheck to paycheck, which is not what we're interested in doing, and it's not the life we want to live. So we'll talk more about that going forward. Thanks. Come back soon. Subscribe, like, all the things.